Family and friends, siblings and staff, guests and graduates, it is an honor to welcome you all to the James M. Bennett Class of 2020 graduation. My name is Kevin Gutowski, and I'm your senior class vice president. It's a bit surreal to be here in this moment, in 2020, the year we've anticipated through our entire childhood. We entered the James M. Bennett halls in autumn 2016 with 4 years of mystery ahead of us. As our feet crossed the threshold and we entered our new home, we didn't know what events would take place in the rooms laid out before our eyes. We stood surrounded by different iterations of the same frantic teenager, searching for their homeroom, wondering how their next 4 years would unfold. I now stand here wondering where all the time has gone, as we look back with no mystery left to uncover. We no longer wonder who we will be, wonder who we will meet, or wonder what we will be a part of. But we reminisce on who we have become, who we have come to know and love, and the legacy that we leave behind. It's been a whirlwind of a high school experience, to say the least, ranging from the small stresses of deadlines to the large impact of losing members of our own James M. Bennett family. While we are not able to say that we finished this journey the way that we expected, we are able to say that we did so together. Graduates, as we join together in a time of separation, I ask you to congratulate not only yourselves, but those who have supported you and pushed you to be your best: parents, instructors, coaches, and classmates. It may seem second nature, now more than ever, to view ourselves as self-made, but there are many people who affected who we are today. Whether they have taught us love, taught us patience, or taught us pain, we have them to thank for us being so amazing as we say thank you next to James M. Bennett High. Congratulations, Clippers. Bask in your achievements today. You've earned it. My fellow members of the class of 2020, friends and family, welcome to our commencement. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Sarah Augustine, and I am the Class of 2020 Secretary. Each year, one student from the top 5% of the senior class is selected to give a scholarly reflection at graduation. I am truly honored to have the opportunity to introduce not only a wonderful student and athlete, but an amazing friend and one of the smartest people I know. Throughout her years here at Bennett, Lauren Illa has achieved multiple accomplishments. She was selected for the Bayside South First Team for volleyball, a 2020 Maryland Affiliate Award winner of the NCWIT for Aspirations in Computing, and a 2018 Optimist Oratorical Contest regional winner. But it doesn't stop there. Throughout the summer of 2019, Lauren was a summer intern at Walb's Flight Facility and a participant of the Yale Young Global Scholars Program. At James M. Bennett, she was a member of the Science Olympiad team, the math team, the volleyball team, and a member of the Spanish Honor Society. She was also able to show her leadership skills by being the SGA Executive Board Treasurer, Vice President of the Mu Alpha Theta, Secretary of JMB's National Speech and Debate, and the Treasurer of JMB's National Honor Society. This fall, Lauren will be attending Stanford University to major in either chemical engineering or engineering physics. Afterwards, she'd like to be a scientific researcher. And now that Lauren has officially impressed us all, without further ado, to give our Class of 2020's scholarly reflection, Lauren Illa. Good afternoon, graduates, family members, and JMB staff and faculty. My name is Lauren Illa, the Executive Treasurer of the Student Government Association. I cannot claim to know each family member or teacher personally, but your participation in this graduation ceremony speaks to your steadfast dedication to the JMB graduating class of 2020. Although the COVID-19 pandemic separates us physically, the class of 2020 has received unwavering support from every direction. To our educators who work tirelessly and selflessly so we may realize the best versions of ourselves, thank you. To staff members at JMB so rarely recognized, our custodial staff, counselors, health professionals, food service workers, the innumerable more that make up the JMB community, and to our administration, so heavily depended upon, thank you. To our family members, often our first cheerleaders, but unafraid to redirect us when we veer off course, thank you. Our 4 years together as a class has not been characterized by uniform experiences. We are not cut from the same cloth, but rather we are stones along the bed of a river, individually fashioned and weathered and eroded by our diverse experiences. Some of us explored career opportunities and garnered valuable life skills in the CTE program. Others created the change they wanted to see in our community through SGA or in Leo Club. Our creative expression was born and shared and appreciated on the STEP team or in drama club. And occasionally we raised the bell at 7:44 in the morning. I won't speak for the entire class, but I know I found myself in that last group a few times. This moment is a product of every experience over the last 4 years, good and bad, triumphant and disheartening. We are left with a clear resolve to supersede what we've achieved in the past. Now is not the time to walk gingerly and with uncertainty towards what our futures hold. We are the class that shook the stage at Rock and Roll Revival every year without fail. We filled displays with championships and showcased our artwork. We voyaged far and wide, demonstrating excellence at every turn. Now is the time to be daring and tenacious in pursuit of our purpose, understanding that we will falter along the way. There will be mistakes and missteps, but challenge yourself to never feel regret. This is a lesson I'm still learning to live, but if there's anything we have learned, it is to embrace the undiscovered and to understand that comfort can be a ceiling. It provides a floor, but also a ceiling, in the wise words of Trevor Noah. However, the JMB class of 2020 is not characterized by uniform experiences, in the wise words of Lauren Illa. We have not all mastered the ability to cast away our fears. Many of us struggle with finding authenticity and individuality and distinction. We can be weighed down by the prospect of life after these 4 years and what it means for our character, our personality, and our relationships. It's daunting. We eagerly wait to move the tassel from right to left, but wonder if what we're left with will be right for us. As someone who has constantly doubted if I'm on the correct path, if I belong in a room full of talented and accomplished people, or if I'm brave enough to pursue what others do not, I understand. I also understand that fear and courage are not opposites, but are day and night, the mountain and the valley, inextricably connected and dependent on each other. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. In the wise words of, you guessed it, yours truly, that was Nelson Mandela. The fear of change and deciding who we want to be is real, but the battle-tested courage we've gained from our individual experiences triumphs over this fear every time. We may not know each other's stories. Some of us may be still defining who we are and how we want to become change makers in this world. Nevertheless, let us resolve to always explore with boldness unlimited. Thank you.
How can I condense all the events and accomplishments of James and Bennett's class of 2020 to fit a speech that is just a few minutes long? Well, here's a start. We had a lot of firsts. August 29th, 2016. We have a lot of important days in our lives, but this one will always hold a special place in our hearts. This was the day it all started for us, high school. Some of us may have visited the building before, or perhaps you're a member of a team that started practices in the summer. But either way, all of us were anxious that very first day. Let's be real, our only insight to high school up to that point was the High School Musical series. Yeah, we thought people were around their lockers long enough to stuff a kid in theirs. It turns out 5 minutes in between classes seems way shorter than we expected it to. February 17th, 2017, opening night of Rock and Roll Revival. Whether you were an audience member or a nervous wreck on stage like me, this was a night where we could experience the fruits of a huge musical production that had been fine-tuned for months. After 7 shows and lots of tears from intimidating upperclassmen we hardly knew, the rest of the month flew by and the sleep schedules of many were restored. And then somehow, it was June. We made it through our freshman year without failing Miss McCain's class, and we welcomed the warm embrace of summer break with open arms, eager to sleep in every day for months to come and go to the beach with our friends. But summer break only lasts for so long, and eventually we have to go back to school. Many of us tried out for soccer or football for the first or second time, or if you're unathletic like me, you pursued your fine arts credits with the marching band. We spent a lot of our free time attending the big games against Parkside, where we watched our girls' soccer team slam the Rams for the first time in 18 years, or when we witnessed Stephen Oscar's record-breaking 51-yard field goal. Still underclassmen, though, we had much to learn, like how to drive. One of your friends got their permit, and then another, and then another. Eventually, it seemed like people were obtaining actual driver's licenses, and those of us who were born later into 2002, like me, didn't have that token of freedom yet, so we would all pile into the car of the one friend who was just old enough to drive. Academically, though, the school year seemed similar to that of freshman year. Miss Murray's class was just as hard as Miss McCain's, but we got used to a high school workload, and many of us took our first AP classes. We began to feel more and more comfortable and joined clubs that we had failed to hear about before. The mixing pot of kids from different middle schools seemed to fade into one familiar class, and before we knew it, we recognized almost everyone in our grade. Sophomore year was also the year we were mandated to take health education, but I'll spare the details in fear of uncovering repressed memories. After what seemed like another brief summer break, we started junior year dreading our intense schedules. On top of the several AP and honors courses we took, we also had to prepare for the SATs and ACTs. In the midst of all our academic stress, Bennett athletes excelled throughout the year. On November 10th, 2018, our football team won their first playoff game since 1990. On the 25th of May, 2019, sang Beck through the final pitch to win the state championship game, accompanied by class of 2020 members Max Taylor, Garrett Southern, Andrews Brown, Paul Oscar, and Aaron Combs. That same season, our boys lacrosse team won the state regional championship for the first time ever. We eagerly awaited the end of our third year in high school, ready to take on our title as seniors. This was the year marking all of our lasts. September 4th, 2019, our last first day of school. Many of us posted throwback pictures on social media to reminisce on simpler times. We finally felt like high school was part of the natural rhythm of life. Sleep, speed to school, zone out for a few hours, go home early, repeat. Some of us did dual enrollment on campuses like Salisbury University and Warwick, and others became employed to make ends meet for their plans after high school. We all had to decide what college we would be attending, or what branch of the military we would enlist in, or even which industry of the workforce to join. We congratulated one another when we announced our career paths, and got excited when we realized some of us had committed to the same schools. In the midst of the beginnings of our adulthood, we also had some sports highlights, like how our volleyball team won the Bayside Championship. Although we heard of many other things happening at school, senioritis spread and the days seemed to blur together. March 13th, 2020, our last day of high school. Never in our lives had we thought that school could end so abruptly. Rock and Roll Revival had just ended, spring sports had barely started, and for many of us it seemed as if we were robbed of countless memories, and perhaps the most important part of high school. We seemingly plummeted to rock bottom as we realized that we would miss out on all the spring sports games, junior-senior banquet, and even prom. However, rock bottom is a great foundation to build upon. I urge every member of the class of 2020 to see our situation not as an end to something great, but as a new beginning for the next chapter of our lives. This commencement marks this accomplishment, and I congratulate each and every one of you for making it this far. No matter how far our futures will take us, we will always be cherished as sons and daughters of James M. Bennett High School. Thank you.
Good afternoon. It is a very distinct pleasure for me to introduce our next speaker, the Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Donna Henlin. Dr. Henlin has an extensive history in the Wicomico County school system, where she graduated from James M. Bennett High School. Beginning as a classroom teacher, she went on to serve students and families here in Wicomico County. After 26 years of serving as assistant principal at both Wicomico Middle School and James M. Bennett High School, principal of James M. Bennett High School, and director of secondary education for the school system, she transitioned to Washington County. Dr. Henlin continued inspiring change in the public school system as a supervisor of special education, director of elementary education, and associate superintendent and chief academic officer. In 2016, she returned to our county when the Board of Education appointed her as the superintendent of Wicomico County Public Schools. We are truly honored to have her here with us this afternoon. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming our superintendent, Dr. Donna Henlin.
Seniors, parents, relatives, friends, board members, administrators, teachers, staff, and community members. It is my tradition to share my commencement comments each spring through a favorite book with a compelling message that speaks to me and would be meaningful for our seniors at this important milestone. And while this year is far from traditional, my love of literature and the messages found within continues. I usually go through many options to find just the right one with the right message. Several weeks ago, I picked up this book and looked no further. Charlie Mackesy has written and illustrated a modern fable titled The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse that is inspirational and provides the hope we all need in these uncertain times. The author brings together these four strangers to share universal lessons on friendship, kindness, optimism, and as one reviewer suggested, a wonderful look into the human heart. Thank you to my colleague Andrea, who gave me this beautiful book this past winter. Neither of us knew how our lives were about to be turned upside down. No one had any idea how our circumstances would change so dramatically as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, making the human heart so much more visible and vulnerable. Just as these characters have done in Mackesy's book, we've faced adversity on life's journey and have had the opportunity to ponder many questions. While doing so, we've learned about the importance of connections and courage and hope, and have found our own silver linings. The characters represent different parts of being human. The boy is inquisitive. The mole is enthusiastic but greedy. The fox has been hurt, so is withdrawn from life and slow to trust, but he wants to be part of the world. The horse represents the deepest, wisest part in us, our soul. Together, they share universal feelings familiar to us all. Especially in this time, I found this look into the human heart and spirit to be reassuring. Seniors, you came into this world on the heels of the 9/11 tragedy and the war on terrorism, and you have very sadly ended your senior year in a way that is stranger than any of us could have ever imagined. I feel your disappointment. Our high school years are some of the best times of our lives, and I hope you'll treasure the many memories you have of spending time with friends, attending athletic events, going to dances, performing in concerts and musicals, and of course, learning in the classroom. It devastates me that this important time in your lives was cut short before senior prom and the traditional commencement. We know that this virtual graduation can't replace what you've lost, but a huge life lesson is that some things cannot be changed, and you learn to turn adversity into promise. As the mole in the fable tells us, one of the greatest illusions in life is that it's perfect. My hope is that, like the characters in Mackesie's fable, you will grow stronger in spite of these challenges. You will be more resilient as a result of the disappointments you've faced, and you will see your own optimism, courage, and connections with those you love strengthened exponentially. The author engages the reader through beautiful illustrations, through the building of their unlikely friendships as they interact, learn to trust one another, and discover what's important in life, and through questions that they pose to one another as they travel together in what might be considered life's path. And every question is worth pondering. The inquisitive boy asks near the beginning of his journey with the mole, "What do you think success is?" And the mole responds, "To love." A bit further, the boy asks, "What do you think is the biggest waste of time?" And the mole responds, "Comparing yourself to others." Most old moles I know wish they had listened less to their fears and more to their dreams. Further along the way, the mole asks, "What is your best discovery?" And the boy responds, "That I am enough as I am." Later, after meeting both the fox and the horse, when their friendship and trust have grown, the boy asks, "What do we do when our hearts hurt?" And the wise horse, who represents our soul, suggests, "We wrap them with friendship, shared tears, and time, till they wake hopeful and happy again." And my favorite provocative question posed by the boy is, "What's the bravest thing you ever said?" And the astute horse responds, "Help." And he goes on to tell the boy that he is his strongest when he's been willing to show his weakness. That asking for help isn't giving up, it's refusing to give up. And that is indeed a very powerful lesson, especially during these challenging times. I can honestly tell you that as superintendent, I haven't always wanted to ask for help, because I assume that others need to see that I am always brave and confident in leading Wicomico County Public Schools. If I have learned anything during this time, it is the importance of relying on my team, every teacher, staff person, board member, and administrator, and my colleagues across the state. And because of my willingness to ask for help, I am stronger. We are stronger as a school system, and relationships have strengthened in the most unlikely places, just as with the characters in Mackesie's fable. And I've gotten a more intimate look into the human heart as I have read and responded to notes of desperation from parents who are really struggling. And when those parents have shown their bravery by asking for help, our staff have reached out with such compassion and understanding, a true testament to our love and concern for the well-being of our students and families. Just as in the fable, when the boy falls in the river and his friends save him, the horse reminds the others that everyone gets scared, but it's less scary together. So what does all this have to do with you today as you become graduates of Wicomico County Public Schools? Everything. Remember when earlier this school year you couldn't wait for this year to be over, for high school to be done? None of us participating in or watching this virtual commencement ceremony will ever forget the importance of not taking what we have for granted. You have arrived at this milestone despite a suddenly rocky road in your last 2.5 months. But as the wise horse shares with his newfound friends, when the dark clouds come, keep going. Travel on in spite of the obstacles and the rough terrain. When the big things feel out of control, focus on what you love right under your nose. Dance in the rain. The storm will pass. On behalf of Wicomico County Public Schools and the 7-member Board of Education, congratulations on all of your accomplishments as you transition from seniors to high school graduates. We wish you the best and hope that you realize all of your hopes and dreams and plans for the future.
Good afternoon. I have the distinct honor of introducing some of our special guests with us in this ceremony. I would first like to acknowledge several members of our administration, Assistant Principals Mr. Keith Bailey, Ms. Nikki Blake, Mr. Jason Capobianco, and Mr. Brent Lewis. Joining us from the Wicomico County Board of Education, we have board members Ms. Ann Sathowski and Mr. Don Fitzgerald. Ms. Sathowski was elected to Wicomico County Board of Education in November 2018 and began serving a 4-year term in December 2018. Born and raised in Wicomico County, she attended Pinehurst and Pemberton Elementary Schools and was a member of the first class to graduate from the current location of Wicomico High School. She received an associate's degree from St. Mary's Junior College and bachelor's and master's degree from Salisbury University. She pursued doctoral studies with the University of Maryland, College Park. For 31 years, she worked for the Laurel School District, including 10 years as a reading, English, and journalism teacher, and 21 years as a secondary reading specialist. Mr. Don Fitzgerald was appointed to Wicomico County Board of Education in 2009 and elected to serve a 4-year term in December 2018. Mr. Fitzgerald served as Board Vice President for 2 years and was elected as President in July 2015, 2016, 17, and Chairman in 2018. He is a 1964 graduate of Wicomico High School and a Vietnam War veteran. Finally, I would like to introduce the captain of our clipper ship, Ms. Christelle Savage. The 2019-2020 school year marks her first year as principal of James M. Bennett High School. Prior to her work in the school system, she earned her Bachelor of Science degree from Frostburg State University, as well as her Master's of Education from Salisbury University. After teaching social studies at Bennett Middle and government at Parkside High School, Ms. Savage went on to become assistant principal at both Wicomico and Parkside High School. From there, she worked as principal at Choices and Bennett Middle before landing here at JMB. We are happy to have you here with us at JMB this year. Thank you.
Thank you for that introduction. Good afternoon, graduates, family, staff, and special guests. This graduating class has had the journey of a lifetime just trying to get to this momentous day, and most of that journey has been within the last few months. I knew early on that my graduation speech was going to be about not having enough time with such a special group of students, and that was before the school closure. When school started in the fall, and as I got to know this group of seniors, I found myself wishing that I had known them for more of their high school journey, because I was impressed with their drive, their desire to make the school and the world a better place, and their larger-than-life ideas. Honestly, this group has some pretty strong feelings about parking permits. They were persistent and fierce negotiators, and as a result, we lowered the cost of parking permits. And still, some have resisted. Yes, some of you still don't have parking permits. You know who you are, and so do I, but I love you anyway. If you think about this group, they changed the world from the day they were born. Each student in this class is unique and has brought joy and pushed limits along the way as they have taken steps towards this day. And yet today, as they graduate, the world is a different place than it has been for any other senior that has gone before them. I know it may not seem fair, but I think it's just another indicator of how great this group of students really is, how special they have been from the start, how much they have contributed to James M. Bennett High School, and how much they will impact the future for all of us. Though they may have had other principals along the way, I am honored to be the one with them today as they are on their last leg of this journey through high school before they set out on the next phase of their lives. The unexpected events of the last few months should have taught us to appreciate time and not take advantage of it. I think a poem by Liam Porter captures it best. The poem is entitled, "Take Time." Take time for now. This is the only moment you are sure of. Take time for friends. They will help you through the very worst days. Take time for family. You will miss them immeasurably when they are gone. Take time for work, but don't let work take all of your time. Take time to laugh. Laughter raises the spirits and lifts gloom. Take time for music. It will feed your soul and bring you joy. Take time to exercise. You only have one body. You should look after it well. Take time for you, for if you are dividing yourself, what will be left? Take time to understand that we cannot save time. We can just try to use it wisely. Take time to live. Graduates, as you end this journey of your high school, I hope you take this newfound appreciation of time and use it wisely, to appreciate those close to you, to be mindful of your own needs, and to work hard but not lose sight of all that matters. Take time to live the next phase of this journey. I am so proud of you, and I am so grateful to be the principal while you are graduating. Congratulations to the senior class that we will never forget, the class of 2020. And therefore, Dr. Hanlon, in recognition of the records and achievements of the students of this class, and by the virtue and authority vested in me as the principal of James M. Bennett High School, I certify that these students before us have met the graduation requirements established by the Maryland State Board of Education and the Wicomico County Public School System. Accordingly, it is my pleasure to recommend and present to you for the conferring of diplomas the graduating class of 2020.
Mrs. Savage, in recognition of the records and achievements of the students of this class, and by the virtue of the authority vested in me as Superintendent of Wicomico County Public Schools, it is my pleasure to certify and accept for the conferring of diplomas the graduates of James M. Bennett High School, class of 2020. Congratulations.
Kevin Joseph Gutowski. Sarah Augustin. Lauren Florence Illa. Kyung Ray Kwok. Yongju Lee. Taylor James Awkward. Alex Brennan Sewell. Jade Marie Abreu Anaya. Keith Carlton Adams. Yusuf Al Naziri. Virginie Alcius. Mackenzie Renee Allen. Jerlanda Altima. Emily Yeely Antol. Jose Antonio Arellano Hernandez. Francisco Javier Arredondo Inocencio. Dimas Salvador Arroyo Sarian. Jacob Tyler Ashley. Francesca Augustin. Armin Aziz. Sang Ho Beck. Gabrielle Marie Bailey. Samaya Tamara Bailey. Shivam Balagan. Zachary Allen Barnes. David Bradford Barrett. Marie Lore Bartholomew. Cassidy Anna Marie Bauer. Fabiola Beauvoir. Kelsey McKenna Belcher. Dejour Naiwan Bellin. Mulan Marshall Zhao Bell. Chidera Emmanuel Benedicts. Fiona Grace Ben. Tyler Michael Bennett. Bowen Bowers Black. Madison Noel Blevins. Haley Bryn Blumenthal. Cameron Robert Bounds. Claire Teresa Bowler. Justin Joshua Nathaniel Boyd. Bethany Anna Bosman. Hunter Lee Bosman. Cameron Nicole Brannick. Megan Jessica Branton. Joshua Carter Brewington. Austin Curtis Brinkley. Anders Joseph Brown. Camille Zane Brown. Heath Michael Brown. Kiana Shanti Brown. Mackenzie Desiree Bryant. William Thomas Taylor Burdett. Kelly Stefania Cabanas. Ezra Elton Cable. Ryan Lewis Cadwaller. Andrea Johanna Calero Sang.
Lavadi Aurora Castell.
Jason Antonio Castellanos Moran. Roxanne Katie Marie Chow.
Sherlande Seville.
Rebecca Elizabeth Clark. Dominique Lorraine Coleman. Alexis Nicole Collier. Nasim Deshawn Collins. Aaron Russell Coons. Grace Elizabeth Connick. Xavier Andrew Creel. Daniel Cruz. Jordan Aaliyah DeShiel. Gabriel John Davenport. Takai Devon Davis. Anijah Eileen Deal. Demaja Denaya Dio Askins. Ryan Jonathan Duwert. Jada Marie Dickerson. Emma Rose Dixon. Sean Ekmel Dilworth. Jabria Nashe Dunat. Chase Thomas Donaway Corbin. Carter Timothy Doney. Cameron Jade Douglas. Logan Lee Duncan. Joshua Jeremiah Dunn. Adam Francis Dunning Jr. Ryan O'Day Duval.
Whittling Elise. Glarabeth Encarnacion de Azar. Morgan Rose Esham. Yesley Sarai Estazu Sukalzo. Joel Benjamin Fall. Lane Patrick Farrow. Madison Grace Filbert. Christ Daniel Fills. Jamaria Monet Finney. Julia Cecile Fitzpatrick. Ella Irene Floyd. DeJory Woodson Forrestal. Morgan Ray Franklin, Michael Stewart Fritz, Evelyn Yulisa Fuentes Estazu, Arturo Garbanzo Elizondo, Alicia Jonay George, Fernando Jr. Geronimo Severino, Troy Edward Gibson, Tavion Tyrell Ginn, Madison Bella Giordano, Colin Christopher Glushaco, Kimberly Marie Gonzalez Cordero, Mason Brant Greenhouch, Juan Carlos Guevara Saldana, Leana Lorera Gumby, Amelia Elizabeth Hall, Ashanti Talea Jornay Hankerson, Aiden Caviglia Harris, Jaden Washington Hayward, Alondra Vanessa Hernandez Morales, Mohammed Hazam, Cameron James Hill, Janea Michella Hill, John Gentry Hines Jr., Janicia Ashay Hinman, Theodore Lawrence Hirsch, Bryshana Markia Holden, Mallory Ellen Horner, Morgan Kelly Horner, Audrey Elaine Ingersoll, Evdoxia Artemisia Ioannidis, Madison Marie Ireland, Yael Jacome DeGaldo. Paige Marie Jansen. James Henry Jarman Jr. Shammy Jean Simone. Franceline Jean. Jennifer Canchel Jean. Darius Lamont Jenkins. Jamesley June. Melise Nativity Giacha Catgweb. Jonette Hakim. Virgiline Hakim. Emmanuel Josant. Micheline Josant. Emma Lee Johnson. Kimaya Brene Johnson. Zachary Thomas Johnson. Kayvon Lamori Jones. Asia Monet Mildred Kellum. Sylvester Michael Kellum Jr. Deshaun Christian Kelman. Elijah Frederick Kelly IV. Ethan Gabriel Kennedy. Colin Martin Kennard. Brandon Christopher Conley. Gutham Sai Karada. Aaliyah Brianne Kraus. Angeline LaFontante. Jenny Lamour. Scott John Lanza. Witchell Laurier. Natalia Leon Padilla. Jocelyn Sheree Lyles Winder. Joshua Isaiah Lyles Winder. John Kyle Lidikins.
Abby Catherine Lohr. Jaquan Timothy Logan Allen. Anna Margaret Long. Isai Lopez. Orlando Luis. Patterson Luis. Samuel Louisa. Jonathan Dylan Lowe. Tyler Stephen Lowe. Dale Edward Manning. John Henry Marks. Damian Andres Mariquin Tisto. Richard Leighton Marsh. Haley Brooke Marshall. Elizabeth Grace Martin. Chloe Elizabeth Mason. Noah Hudson Mason. DeAndre Edward Matthews. James Edward Matthews IV. Natera Monet McCoy. Brady Aaron McCullen. Juan Leonardo Medina Escobedo. Danilo Fernandez Mendanca. Sophia Christina Merritt. Pluro Messina Mezidou. Brandon Michael Lee Messick. McLeod Martin Messick Wenzel. Eliana Catherine Miller. Hannah Ann Mills. Abdallah Nasreldin Ahmed Mohammed. Jenna Lynn Morgan. Marina Seidel Morgan. Jason Latrell Moss. Belzy Yesenia Morello Martinez. Emma Bridget Murphy. John Keith Meyer. Alexandra Norano Aguirre. Aaron James Neal. Gavin Warren Nelson. Lordia Nerestant. Jakima Janice Knock. Jordan Latrell Northern Williams. Seth Anthony Oliphant. Addison Rain Orr. Andrew Davin Ortiz. Jawan Linwood Chilis Ortiz. Paul Timothy Oscar. Malachi Nicholas Ostrander. Taylor Elizabeth Alton. Olivia Mackenzie Owens. Samantha Lee Page. Anna Mary Palanchar. Wyatt Thomas Palanchar. Nina Palkowitz. Dakai Jameer Palmer. Morgana Ruby Parks. Kristen Rain Parsons. Tyler Robert Passarell. Max Curlins Burley Polifond. Ruth Esther Penzo. Alejandro Luis Perez. Sophia Donata Peters. Nathaniel Shama Hedian. Esnader Pierre Luis. Emmeline Lenore Patonic. Nathan Thomas Pohl. Isaiah David Purnell. Chelsea Brianna Quillen. Alyssa Jewel Quintaval. Jose Raul Ramirez Adams. Zachary Tyler Ramsey. Naphtalin Dorvillis Raymond. Jaquan Anthony Reeves. Elijah Joel Reddish. John Patrick Riley Jr. Mason James Rekos. Logan Tanner Renshaw. Andre Lisbeth Reyes Ramirez. Morgan Alexis Riley. Brandon James Roberts. Alana Marie Robinson. Brooke Ann Robinson. Dorothy Patricia Rogers. Elizabeth Kathleen Rogers.
Madison Lucille Rogers. Tylasia Monet Rogers. Alexis Giovanni Rojas Carrillo. Hannah Jane Romblad. Rodney Rutherford. Ethan Philip Ryan. Molly Marie Saylor. Jerry Renee St. Fleur. Bloody St. Louis. Fritza St. Louis. Robinson St. Louis. Leonard St. Val. Amber Faith Salata. Anisis Raquel Santos. Benjamin Cooper Shevel. Taylor Michelle Schultes. Mark Daniel Schweitzer. Brian William Seberage. Patrick David Seberage. Shakira Monique Sessoms. Brandon David Shanks. Julian Tyrese Shelton. Zara Ahmed Siddiqui. Katie Sylvester Perez. William Joseph Simpson. Bruce Wayne Singleton III. Jaden Kevin Smiley. Brooke Grace Smith. Courtney Cheyenne Smith. Evan Parker Smith. Najee Teresa Smith. Sarah Elaine Smith. Adam Bryce Smullen. Zaire Talise Smullen. Kaung Jun Song. Garrett Christopher Southern. Amiri Kinche Stanley. Michaela Marie Stevens. Christopher Wayne Stevens. Cheyenne Jordan Stevenson. Jaquan Lamont Strand. Seasia Armani Styles. Brittany Monet Somerville. Madison Lorraine Sinowick. Jaden Alyssa Taylor. Jamir Daquan Taylor. Maxwell Randolph Taylor. Linda Tello Sanchez. Kylie Alexis Thomas. Aiden Merrick Thomas Mason. Cornelius Lamont Thompson Jr. Skylar William Thornhill. Francesca Touche Toomer. Aaron Torres. Parker James Toohey. Devin Bao An Tran. Tao V. Tran. Jorge Armando Trejo Moreno. Andre Gabriel Trotter Jr. Rose Berlin Turen. Khalil Edward Turner. Richard Darnell Turner Jr. Cedric Ulyss. Trait Lyon Underwood. Michaela Ray Upton. Joseph Patrick Urian. Wansley Val. Oswaldo Vargas Martinez. Drew Michael Von Komar. Justin Allen Wall. Julia Rose Walters. Randall Scott Webster. Allison Mae White. Asia Catrice Williams. Laquay Jabari Williams. Zoraya Najee Williams. Trace William Wilson. Allison Lindsay Wolf. Emily Joyce Wright. Jacob Anthony Wright. Daun Yim.
It's a relief for me to finally say, we made it. Congratulations to the class of 2020 on making it this far. You've earned it. It took everything to make it through all the late nights, the homework, the tests, the life lessons. On behalf of the class of 2020, I would like to thank everyone for supporting and encouraging us through our journey. Despite all the odds, here we are. You should be proud. It's unfortunate that our senior year has been cut short due to the global pandemic, COVID-19. We had to forfeit some of our senior year traditions we had been dreaming about for so long. Our senior year prom, our graduation, our senior prank, our spring sports seasons, and so many more. But this has also made our class unique. This shows that the class of 2020 can overcome any obstacle and that we are ready to face the challenges of life. Can you believe that it has been 1,371 days since we first walked into James M. Bennett on freshman first day? It went by fast. We've made so many memories through this chapter of our life. Together we cheered on the Clipper sports teams, we learned, we laughed, we got in trouble, we even survived SAT and park testing. We have grown from kids to young adults, about to embark on the next journey of our lives. Having grown up beside all of you for the past 4 years, I have full confidence that all of you can go on to do great things in the years to come. Now, my fellow peers of the class of 2020, we have one tradition remaining. I would like to ask the class of 2020 to please rise. Now, please move your tassels from right to left to signify that we are now graduates from James M. Bennett High School. Congratulations, we did it.